learn about money because they just want to pump out good employees that do what they're told. I mean, if you look at school, it's opposite of what it takes to be successful in real life. Don't make a mistake. Do as you're told. Take tests by yourself. Don't cooperate. Do it by yourself. Do it on your own. And the last thing was, there's only one right answer. No, there's tons of answers to a problem. So you come out.
I actually disagree with this take. Because, yeah, sometimes there is more than one right answer. Like, for example, if they say that America is founded on racism, maybe not. I'm just saying. There may be more than one answer. But other times, there is just one answer. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So if someone comes like, well, 2 plus 2 equals 4 is racism. Okay, no, they're wrong. 2 plus 2 equals 4. But, what about in base 3 and base 5? No, if the base isn't specified, it's base 10. Like, if you go to the shopping mall and you see the prices there, you don't go to ask, excuse me, madam, at what base are these prices set? Is it base 10? I just want to make sure. Right, so, obviously, there are cases where there is one right answer and one where there's multiple. But everything else that this lady has said is true. Now, I have tried seeing where the modern school system was created, and there's different opinions. Some people say that it was created to help factory workers. Other people say that it was in the Prussian Empire in order to create soldiers. Whatever the case may be, it is to create employees. The modern school system isn't there to create entrepreneurs, isn't there to create business owners. In fact, there are specific schools. I think like Klaus Schwab had one where that one was dedicated to creating elites. The modern schooling is to create corporate drones. And not only that, you don't really get to learn anything useful. Like, you don't get to learn what inflation is. You don't get to learn how to pay your taxes. You may be lucky if you get to learn how to make a resume, but you don't even get to learn how to apply for a job. That's interesting, isn't it? Or how to conduct an interview. Like, what if you're the actual person that wants to employ someone? What do you look for in an interview? What are you interested? They don't tell you any of that. Instead, they fill your brain with complete nonsense. Stuff like hyper complex numbers, and I even touched a little bit on quantum physics when I was in high school. It was part of the Romanian curriculum. You don't go really deep into it. It's just like a surface level. But why though? Why did I need to know that? There's no reason, right? And then there's also the bullshit that if you don't learn it in school, it doesn't exist. Like, we are at the level where kids in school should learn sexual education. Like, for thousands of years, people knew how to fuck. The entire animal kingdom knows how to fuck. But no, it needs to be taught in schools, because how else would people know? There is even this saying that if, let's say, the government would have a program for all children to be sent after a couple of months to a place so that they can learn how to walk, in less than 2 generations, people will believe that without the government help, people wouldn't know how to walk by themselves. Like, it's really that bad. So, this is part of the problem. They literally believe that if it's not being taught in school, that it doesn't exist. Like, for example, in my country, English is mandatory in schools. And it's like, I knew English better than my professor, but I still had to sit my ass down for 1 hour, waste 1 more hour of my time that I could have spent for something else, learning something that I already knew. And then a person that knew less English than me had to grade me on shit that doesn't even matter. It's like, oh, let's study grammar again. And it's like, look, I am at the level where I don't need to study grammar, because if something doesn't sound right, I kind of know it. But if clause, and the past, shut the fuck up. But anyway, right, basically, interesting how people don't learn the language by studying grammar, right? Like, when you have a small child that just learns how to speak, you don't teach it grammar, you just teach it to say mama, papa, and then you start going from there. But no, it needs to be done in a correct way. And you literally have people defending this shit. Like, if you go to someone and you say, why do children need to do physical education in school? Like, why is that required? Why do they have to spend another hour of their fucking time to do something? It's like, well, if they don't do it in school, what are they going to do? I don't fucking know. Like, you'd have a bigger problem if they don't do it at all. right? If you're saying that that 1 hour per week is so fucking vital to that child, because otherwise he just sits at home and plays computer, maybe that is the problem, you know, and the parenting should come in. It literally goes to the point where parenting doesn't exist, right? Like, they don't even care about where the parent comes in. All they talk about is like, oh, my social media, my danger, my AI, my child watching my television. And it's like, where the fuck is the parent? Yeah, of course, you know, you shouldn't allow the kid that below the age of 14 to be on social media unsupervised. Goes without fucking saying. Or to watch television nonstop on everything. Like, even my parents wouldn't allow me to watch everything on television, right? But no, like, for some reason, it's now the responsibility of the social media website, the responsibility of corporations to educate your fucking child because you do not have the time or patience to do so. Like, I don't even believe that, even if that was the case, like, society to educate our children, I don't think it's even possible. Like, the education starts from family, and then you have, like, the Marxists, and then you have, like, other questionable ideologies, which is basically suggesting that, no, the family is not important. We need to separate as much as possible the child from the family, and then have the government, the state, the community to educate the child. And this is Marxist thinking, by the way. This is revolutionary thinking. Because throughout human history, various cultures, no, it's the parents that educate the child. Because the parents know what's good for their child, and every child is different. So you can't have like a system to train everyone. And this is a problem with the modern schooling. It's supposed to train everyone. And when you have a class of 40 people, you know, you lower yourself to the lowest common denominator. Because if the dumbest kid in the class doesn't understand the math equation, well, you have two choices. Either you move on, and then the dumbest kid remains dumb, or you lower yourself until the dumbest kid understands it, but it's detrimental for the other kids that already got it. So, like, if I understand the math equation just fine, I now need to wait for the teacher to spend extra time until the dumbest kid gets it. In the meantime, you know, there may have been more difficult equations for me. Like, I could have raised my knowledge a little bit better had the teacher paid more attention to my needs. But that's the problem. You can't pay attention to everyone's needs. So, you know, usually the solution is to lower yourself to the lowest common denominator, and then the smart kids get to suffer. Because the smart kids get bored, they get uninterested in the subject, and they don't get their brain stimulated with more difficult questions. And this is the modern schooling system. And of course, they don't teach you about how to become an entrepreneur. They definitely do not teach you about money. They do not teach you about finances. They do not teach you about anything that's important, because then people would actually make an educated vote. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.